So lately, we've kind of gotten back into grinding whitetail out here on Layton Lakes again, and pretty much working towards trying to get a second great one, and it's been a lot of fun to get back at it. It's been almost a year since we got our great one back in June of 2020, and I'm really enjoying doing this, so we're going to pick up where we left off with the last couple of streams, try to find more zones, and pretty much take out any buck that we can. Now this has been something we've encountered a number of times already on this second grind, and it's zones that seem to just end up with all does, and I know when we did this the first time, it seemed like taking out the does didn't do much, but we've already done it once on this grind where it has actually worked, so there are 4 does in here. I really don't mind if we delete the zone, so we'll try to get all 4, and I'm not sure we'll be able to, and we might kind of fall victim to the out of render invisible glitch, but it's going to depend on our shooting. I don't know if we got that second follow-up in there, but that's the last one we got to get. And that should get her down pretty quick with like an intestine hit. Now I'm kind of questioning though, because that one's still 75 to 100. And I would expect it to be dropping. We definitely hit it a couple of times. So we'll have to go through and see what we can find. There should have been 4 or 5. They were kind of in the reeds there, so I could imagine where there was just one that was hidden, but hopefully that's going to clear that zone out and get some bucks to spawn. I mean, there was enough pressure to delete the zone. We dropped the first 2, and then I only see 2 other sets of tracks, so maybe that one we just didn't hit as well as I thought. I think there's one down right there, and then there should only be one more then. Well, actually, there are 3 total here, but they're just all down in the same place anyway, so that should be all of them. That should at least allow any bucks that maybe want to respawn to go back to that zone, and not too bad. It's not always easy to get 5 deer out of one zone. It's not like the shots were great, but they were also does that weren't going to get us any metal anyways, so just enough to bring them down and bring them down in render so we didn't have to deal with that bug, and like I said, hopefully that does something for us and gets some bucks in there. I thought for a second there we were going to have another zone of all does, but there are actually 2 bucks in here, and this is one that we actually did quite well on the previous grind. We did shoot an albino gold buck here, and it was pretty consistent throughout at actually spawning bucks, but we'll see if we can get to both of those. It's about 250 meters, which is kind of an odd range for this. But as long as we 0 for 300 and aim low, that's no big deal. As long as there are bucks there, we're not going to worry about trying to take out the does, because it seemed like that was pretty consistent. When we would just take out all the bucks, most of the time they would come back, and hopefully they continue to do that, because that kind of makes our lives a little easier. But that should be at least one solid gold buck down. But it has been kind of expectedly slow, because we're trying to check areas where we haven't been to discover new zones. And now that it's pretty much the end of whitetail drink time, we're going to go to one that has produced a ton of bucks. And in all likelihood, just with the luck of the way things go, there's probably not going to be any here this time, but we just went here on stream on Monday, and I think we killed 10 bucks total. So hopefully at least some of that has respawned and we can get a couple of more. And this was the spot where we got our first level 3 of this grind that happened to be a troll, but maybe there can be something good here. But this is kind of what I was afraid of. It seems like it's only the does now. And we have another spot in this area that does the exact same thing, and I'm kind of curious if the lake in between has any whitetail. So the lake directly north of us right here, we had the same situation. There were a bunch of bucks, we shot all those, and now we have nothing but does. And there's a couple more I wanted to take out and just do the same thing we did earlier, where we're pretty much just trying to eliminate everything we can to see if it basically clears up the zone for some bucks. So we got 4 there, which is not too bad. We're not going to include claiming all those because they're all just going to be does, of course, but maybe, if we can, we'll jump up here and do the same thing, and then we'll reset and check in the middle, because if this lake and this lake had it, maybe this little hidden one could as well. Actually, that's a new zone. There is at least 1 buck here. I don't know if there might be any more over that way. And to get to the hidden lake that we just looked at on the map, we're going to have to come back here and go pretty much exactly that direction. So if there are more, we should encounter them going to do that. And that's probably better anyway, since it's past 1500, there could have been ones that already left. It's not likely since it's just barely past 1500, but just for the sake of trying to be thorough, we'll just claim our does and that guy and worry about like anything else over there after we reset the time. I kind of wish we had kept track of how many does we shot in the previous grind, because at the rate we're going now, we may end up with more does killed just today than we did the entire last grind, but if it does anything to get bucks in these zones, then it's definitely worth our time. And that might be evidence that it actually does work. So there was not a buck in this zone any of the last couple of times we've gone here. And there's actually 2 here now, so I guess we'll just go ahead and take the bucks. We definitely don't want to be deleting the zone. Maybe we can get the one doe beside them as well. I think they're ready to leave, unfortunately, so we'll have to be kind of precise with our shots. And actually, that was really bad timing. He just got out of there. We might be able to hit him on the run there because it's kind of open. That'll work. But yeah, he kind of went behind the tree right when we shot the other one. So we'll just be happy with the 2. And that's going to get us to the end of our first little run through here. Not too bad, all things considered. Like, we pretty much found nothing for the majority of their drink time and still ended up with quite a decent number of bucks. We've probably had cooler ones, but that's a pretty neat way that whitetail went down. Just a little silver 174. And then our other one is actually not that far away from him. It seemed like he covered more ground than that. Maybe he kind of went out and around. That's also a silver at 187. I think his max estimate was 190, so he had no chance of making gold. Coyote's barking and stuff, but I think we'll just completely focus on whitetail. We'll go back and reset the time. And the first thing we're going to do is move through here and check this hidden area, just to see if maybe that's where all of our bucks have kind of ended up from these 2 lakes. And unfortunately for this lake, it seems like there are no whitetail actually drinking here, which does make sense because there's so many between the other 2 lakes in the area. But I think there's one other main area that I want to check that we haven't got to yet, and that's up here in, I think this is Chopeka, and I'm not sure which lake it is, but at one of these at one point we had whitetail drinking there, and we might as well check everything, so we'll check there and then probably hit some of the areas that we actually know about from our couple of streams where we ran around. It's kind of crazy to see just how many zones are just filled with does right now, and it might just kind of be the stage of respawns we're in, but this spot has at least the 1 buck. He's kind of a decent level 2. Hopefully when he lifts his head we can go ahead and get a shot in there. I think that might be the rack that has like a chance of being a gold, but at least we got a lung shot. And that actually might be the very same herd that we got our 1 diamond out of, and that was on stream a little over a week ago. Would love for him to be broadside or something. The wind's bad, so he's gonna stop. And I'd like to swing and get that too as well. Do that again? Rocky, excuse me, but we're busy. There you go, Kyla. Rocky got in my way just like Atlas gets in your way. That one made diamond. 256.1, so we made the right shot on the right deer. The other thing could be that this is the 1 buck that was left over, and he actually is just barely a gold at 196. So maybe that's going to trigger more bucks to respawn, because there were a bunch in that herd, and we eventually ended up getting quite a number of them from there, so I guess the remaining 6 are does. Hopefully, now that there's no bucks in there, we're going to get new ones to respawn. But that was kind of an odd situation with that diamond, because we actually shot it in April, and I wanted it to be in the April montage, but I had that video already prepped for going to Georgia for a week, so now that the diamond whitetail is in a video here in May, he'll probably make it into the May montage anyway. And I think it's quite fitting, talking about a recent stream kill. This is, I believe, the 1 buck that got away on Monday's live stream, and it might be the exact same scenario where nothing is respawned. I can see a couple of deer in there though, so when we take this shot, we'll kind of pay attention to see what comes out of there, because there might be another buck that has respawned. That's definitely a decent one. Actually, there's even 2 of them. So they're kind of just in a not so good spot. At this point, we're not in any rush, so let's just kind of sit and see if they come back for a minute or 2. I really don't know why, but I had a feeling they might. I think they're still not in a good spot, though. We're going to take that shot before he's out of view. The other buck is still in a spot where we couldn't really get a shot. We can try. Maybe that's going to get him down. So the one issue with taking shots like that right now, of course, is the invisible animal with the render issue. So what we're going to do, because I saw his health dropping, is pretty much try to get across there as fast as possible, and maybe he'll still go down and render. And I mean, if he doesn't, it's the level 1. But it would be nice to get to claim everything we actually shoot out here. So we definitely had the 2 that were down side by side here. And we'll wait until we actually claim this guy to set Rocky on the trail, and pretty much is just hoping that, like I said, we kind of got close enough to him that he went down in render. We saw his health starting to drop, and I mean, it could be a shot where he actually turns around and tries to come back. It's just going to depend. It looks like we ran out of luck with that one, and I'm not sure we were even that close. I mean, the tripod's 460 meters away, so losing out on that level 1, but at least it was the smallest one. And with a little time left, I think we're actually going to go to this spot in Chile again. We had an 85 to 100 track here on stream that we definitely never saw, so I'm curious to see if we can locate him. And we actually had 3 different zones around this lake, so I'm not even sure which one he may have been in. But I don't see any deer over on that end. The ones that spawn over here are going to be invisible till we go over to the other side. And these ones are in such a tough spot. I think while we have them actually visible, we'll try to get them, and we'll do the same thing we did earlier, and kind of just watch and see. That, okay, I guess it's going to drop him. I thought it was going to be a little bit too low. There's this guy here. Should bring him down. And then we'll kind of watch and see if anything runs out of there. There's another doe, and actually a couple of deer in there. That's probably our guy right there. Not huge. That shot wasn't too bad, though. I guess it's going to be a little bit back, but that'll definitely bring him down in time. Then we'll see what's over on this side, and I think we're looking pretty good for this lake. And even that zone is just 4 does now, so we'll kind of see what happens from this side. And normally I wouldn't shoot 4 bucks in one spot, because of course we did delete this zone, but for one, they were in a bad spot and I wouldn't mind if they move. But also, we kind of accidentally deleted the zone on the other side of the lake during the stream, so they're already probably kind of confused, and I really wouldn't mind if they moved down to the Mushroom Lake, because for some reason, a lake that's been so good for whitetail just has none on my map, so we'll see if that maybe does anything. I think we missed the one small one we shot. We'll have to go back for, but this should be the track of the bigger one. And he looked like, at least from a distance, kind of like a mid-sized level 2. And I'd say at 218 that's what he is. And we're just a little bit too far back there, and probably a little bit low as well. So there should be one other small one down here somewhere. And then we'll head back to the second lodge with our diamond whitetail. And to be honest, I don't even know how we missed that. It's laying right where we came from. But not too bad. Found a couple of zones, cleared out a number of zones that had just all does. Like I said, I want to leave this one because this lake's kind of just like freshly getting all the bucks, and maybe some will spawn over there. But I like what we've managed to do so far with this, and looking pretty good already. We have a diamond whitetail, and really we're only just starting to actually put in some effort with this grind, so I like what we're seeing so far. I actually quite like the kind of variety you get with the whitetail diamond racks now. And really, I think we'd work towards trying to get like at least one of each rack in the new trophy lodge, but the issue kind of is, this guy is a diamond at 256. We actually shot a piebald on the previous grind that is a gold at like 260 something, and I just think the piebald is cooler because it's got like the same rack and scored a little higher, and it's just not going to make sense having like the diamonds and the gold, so I think we'll really only put the bigger diamond whitetail in the new lodge, and we'll save ones like this for the second lodge, and it looks good in here. Good to have something pretty much a little bit different than like turkeys and mountain lions. That's most of what this lodge is, but nice to get another diamond whitetail, and like I said at the beginning, nice to be on a whitetail grind again. I really am enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get from grinding for yet another great one. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.